Hello dear students of the 6th elementary grade, and welcome to a new episode of our program. It's time for science, and on this episode we'll be discussing and explaining lesson 3 of unit 3, nitrogen gas, and we'll be waiting for your phone calls on our phone number 257-562-187. The number will appear on the screen, so if you've got any questions, do give us a call. Let me first welcome our guest teacher, Mr. Nader Nassim, our teacher of science. Hello, Mr. Nader, and welcome to the program.
Hello, thank you.
So, Mr. Nader, we're moving, perhaps this is the last lesson related to the first semester.
No, the last lesson of Unit 3, we have still Unit 4, which deal with two systems, the skeletal system and nervous system.
Okay, so let's start with this lesson, nitrogen gas. We usually start by discussing the properties of this gas.
Of each gas. We have discussed and we have explained the first lesson of this unit, which deal about oxygen gas and carbon dioxide gas. Okay, at first, Mr. Yasser, can you remind me what is the percentage of nitrogen gas?
I remember it's 78%, right?
So what about oxygen gas?
Oxygen gas, 21%.
And we know that the carbon dioxide gas had the least ratio, which is 0.03%,
right?
So today we will discuss and explain our lesson about nitrogen gas, which is the most abundant gas. أكتر غاز متوفر في الهواء الجوي. Okay? Nitrogen gas, as we know, is the most abundant gas that occupies 78% of the air volume, and we know that nitrogen gas is very important gas, and we will discuss it now.
Let me tell you something. Perhaps it's the most abundant, but it's not the most important, right?
It's the not most important in respiration process. You mean that, okay? أنت تقصد كده.
I mean to us. I mean in general, talking in general, perhaps it's the most abundant, but not the most important.
The most important for respiration, like that, because we know that the most important gas for respiration is the oxygen gas.
Of course.
The most important gas for photosynthesis process is the carbon dioxide. But nitrogen gas has many other importances. Nitrogen gas دي أهمية تانية كتيرة جدا هنعرفها إن شاء الله in our lesson today. So now let's start our lesson today, about nitrogen gas, which deal with nitrogen gas and its properties and its preparation, and at last the uses and importance of nitrogen gas. Nitrogen gas, as we know, nitrogen is a molecule, consists of two atoms and has a symbol N2. nitrogen gas هو molecule جزيء بيتكون من two atoms أو ذرتين بنسميه N2. يبقى دايما عرفنا كويس قوي إن النيتروجين جاس ليه سامبل N2 زي بالظبط oxygen gas ليه سامبل O2. مهم قوي اعرف ان nitrogen gas element not a compound، هو عنصر مش مركب. What's the difference between element and compound? Mr. Yasser, let me explain this in details, okay? الموضوع مهم قوي ان شاء الله هنتعرضه بالتفصيل في prep stage، لكن ناخد فكره عنه النهارده.
Well, as I understand it, an element is something like, let's say, it's one thing. A compound is perhaps a group of or more than one thing.
More than atom. You are right. But let me explain this in details, Mr. Yasser, okay? نكتب مع بعض the difference between element and compound. عايز اعرف ايه الفرق بين element and compound. Okay? Element, as we know, has similar atom. Element has similar atom. Okay? يعني عنده ذرات متشابهة. Okay, element has similar atom, but compound has different atoms. Compound has different atoms. Okay, Mr. Yasser? Are you ready for a small quiz in this element and compound?
Let's try.
Okay, O2, oxygen gas, will be element or a compound? O2 consists of two atoms, which are O and O. الاثنين زي بعض. يبقى element ولا compound? Similar atom means element.
It's element because it's one element. It's
because
one
consists
atom.
of two atoms.
Two atoms. So
oxygen
the same
gas,
kind.
the same atom. يعني هنا ما يهمنيش عدد الاتوم لكن يهمني نوعها. Okay. So what about carbon dioxide? CO2. One carbon atom and two oxygen atom. Compound. What about water? H2O.
Compound.
Two hydrogen and one oxygen. Compound. What about nitrogen? The gas today. Our gas today.
No,
it will be
element.
It will be element. What about hydrogen? H2.
Two
atoms of hydrogen.
Again.
It will be element. So we can differentiate between element and compound as the following. Element consists of similar atom, but compound consists of different atom. So today we can call nitrogen gas is an element. Nitrogen gas again is an element because it consists of two similar atoms of nitrogen gas. Again, oxygen also is an element, but carbon dioxide that we have studied the last episode is a compound, not an element, because it consists of three atoms, which are one carbon atom and two oxygen atoms.
Does it have another name?
Carbon dioxide?
Nitrogen?
Nitrogen, yeah. It has many names like that. We'll see now. Nitrogen is called azot. ممكن نسميه azot، وهي كلمة لاتينية معناها عديم الحياة، لأن باللاتيني مقطع لحرف ال A يعني بيدي معنى النفي أو لأ، زي unhappy كده في الإنجليش يعني. أوكي؟ يبقى ممكن نسميه azot أو هنسميه كمان lifeless لأن هو inactive gas، غاز غير نشط. طب غير نشط ليه؟ لأن هو doesn't included أو not included in respiration process or photosynthesis process. Again, nitrogen gas is not included، ما بيدخلش خالص ضمن أي عملية في respiration أو photosynthesis process. So we can call that nitrogen is called azot, which means lifeless، معناها lifeless يعني عديم الحياة لأن هو inactive gas. Again, give reason. Nitrogen is called azot. Nitrogen is called azot or lifeless. We can say that because it's an inactive gas. Because it's an inactive gas. Okay? Nitrogen is not included in photosynthesis process. Nitrogen is not included in photosynthesis process, as we know, and it also is not included in respiration process. In respiration process. So we can call nitrogen gas again inactive gas or lifeless gas or azot gas. يبقى بنسمي النيتروجين azot لأن هو غاز عديم الحياة أو غاز مش متفاعل بشكل قوي قوي زي الأكسجين أو الكربون دايوكسيد.
I'd like to ask about how important is nitrogen gas on living organisms.
Okay, again, Mr. Yasser, please.
How important is nitrogen gas on living organisms?
For living. Nitrogen gas is important for living organisms because nitrogen gas is included in proteins that we eat. أي بروتين هاكله like bean, like meat, like any type of meat included that protein. Protein is a component of nitrogen gas. يعني أعرف النهاردة إن النيتروجين gas هو مكون رئيسي في البروتين. وهنعرف بالتفصيل إزاي النيتروجين gas بيخش في تكوين البروتين. Okay? Yeah. So again, nitrogen gas is called azot because it's lifeless gas, but nitrogen gas is the main component of all protein substance that we eat. So we can say that nitrogen is not included, in respiration process or in photosynthesis process because it's an inactive gas. Nitrogen doesn't help in burning. ما بيساعدش في الاشتعال, as we know. Like what gas? Like carbon dioxide gas. But oxygen, as we know, helps in burning. Again, nitrogen doesn't help in burning, but oxygen gas helps in burning. Another information about nitrogen gas. Scottish scientist Daniel Rutherford discovered nitrogen in 1772. We know that we have two scientists, Mr. Yasser. Can you remind me with their name? One discovered oxygen, who was Joseph Priestley, and the other named oxygen gas, who was Antoine Lavoisier. درسنا اتنين علماء قبل كده في درس الأكسجين. أنطوان لافوازيه هو اللي سماه أكسجين، لكن جوزيف بريسلي هو اللي اكتشف الأكسجين جاز. النهارده بنقول إن النيتروجين جاز اللي اكتشفه عالم اسمه دانيال رادرفورد. So again, Daniel Rutherford is the great scientist who discovered nitrogen gas in 1772. In 1772 again. Okay, so now let's start the existence of nitrogen gas. عايز أعرف إيه هو وجود النيتروجين gas. As you said, Mr. Yasser, nitrogen gas is found in our bodies. Okay?
Yeah.
We know that nitrogen gas contributes in the composition of all living organisms tissues. بيشارك أو بيساهم في تركيب كل أنسجة جسم الإنسان. يعني بتوقع تقريبا إن 70% من التيشوز اللي فيها بروتين already contains nitrogen gas. Again, 70% من التيشوز اللي فيها بروتين contains nitrogen gas. Why? Or because we know that nitrogen is the main component أو المكون الرئيسي in all protein substance, which is important for building up living organisms bodies. Okay? Now, Mr. Yasser, let me explain how the protein is prepared or how the protein is synthesized تتخلق أو تتصنع inside the pea plant. Okay?
Isn't it from the atmospheric air?
From the atmospheric air by the pea plant, for example. يعني
some plants.
Some plants
some,
like the legumes, some vegetables like the legumes اللي هي البقوليات. Okay? So now let's start or let's draw the pea plant and its roots with nodular bacteria that perform a very important process to produce protein for living organisms. Okay? نرسم مع بعض. As we know from primary 5, درسنا في primary 5 إن البين plant عنده حاجة مهمة جدا على الروت اسمها nodular bacteria أو بكتيريا عقدية. Again, this part of the plant is called nodular bacteria. Nodular bacteria. Okay? And I have the plant here like this and so on. What happened, or what is the relation between bacteria and the bean plant? I think that bacteria fix nitrogen for the plant, fix nitrogen for the plant from atmosphere. It gives nitrogen, بتثبت نيتروجين للplant, and it take food from the plant. It take food from the plant. So again, there is a relation between bacteria and bean plant. في علاقة مهمة جدا بين البكتيريا والبين plant. بنسميها mutualism. يعني علاقة تبادل المنفعة mutualism. ايه اللي بيحصل فيها؟ ان البين بلانت بيستخدم النيتروجين عن طريق البكتيريا عشان يكون بروتين, and the bacteria gets its food from the bean plant again, and the bacteria gets its food from the bean plant again. There is a very important relationship between the bacteria and bean plant. What is this relationship? It's mutualism, يعني تبادل المنفعة. This relationship, or in this relationship, the bean plant gets nitrogen from the atmosphere by the help of bacteria to perform or to synthesize or to make protein substance, and also bacteria get benefit, هتستفيد منه in getting its food from the plant itself, from the bean itself. So again, there is a very important relationship between the bean plant and other bacteria, and between any legumes, أي بقول, such as bean, broad bean, thermos, lentil, clover, البرسيم, and so on. We know that clover is from legumes, is from type of plants which are called legumes أو البقوليات. Again, we have many types of vegetables such as legumes, which are bean, الفول, broad bean, اللوبيا, peas, البسلة, lentil,
soybeans.
Soybeans, very good, soybeans, full soya. And we have many examples of these legumes that are benefited, تستفيد from the nodular bacteria, to get its nitrogen gas from the atmospheric air.
All right, Mr. Nader, let us have our first caller, محمد من القاهرة. أهلا بك يا محمد. محمد.
الو.
ازيك يا محمد، عامل ايه؟
عاملين ايه؟
الحمد لله. انت بتابعنا من اول حلقة صح؟ عندك اي مشكلة في غاز النيتروجين؟
الحمد لله.
في اي اسئلة عندك؟ اسمعنا من خلال التليفون. ممكن تسمعنا من التليفون بعد اذنك يا محمد؟ اسمعنا من التليفون افضل. وطي صوت التلفزيون. عندك سؤال؟
ماشي.
عندك سؤال ولا ايه؟
حاضر. وطيها.
اتفضل قول سؤالك.
اتفضل يا محمد. هاو يا محمد.
طيب ابقى حاول تجهز سؤالك تاني واتصل بينا مرة تانية يا محمد، ويا ريت كل المتصلين عشان بس تسهلوا علينا الامر يعني، وعشان ما نضيعش وقت الحلقة حاولوا دايما توطوا صوت التلفزيون وتسمعونا من خلال التليفون. Okay, let's carry on.
Okay, Mr. Yasser, again, I remind you with the importance of protein substance which are formed inside the bean plant by the help of bacteria. لازم اعرف ان في بكتيريا مفيده جدا. كلمه بكتيريا من الكلمات المظلومه جدا في الساينس، هنسمعها كتير نفتكر ان هي حاجه مش كويسه. لا، احنا عارفين ان في two type of bacteria which are useful bacteria and harmful bacteria. This type of bacteria, which is called nodular bacteria, is very useful bacteria that perform a very important function for the bean plant or for any legumes, أي بقوليات, such as making protein or such as fixing nitrogen for making protein. Okay? Another information about nitrogen gas. معلومة مهمة جدا عن nitrogen gas تاني. Nitrogen oxide is formed when nitrogen is reacted with oxygen gas during lightning. يبقى لازم اعرف كويس قوي ان اثناء اللايتنينج بيحصل غاز وحش جدا، هنعرف نتكلم عنه بعد شويه.
Okay, you've got another caller. عمر من اسكندريه. اهلا بيك يا عمر.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How about you? Okay, Omar, have you got any questions? Do you have any questions? عندك اي اسئله؟ اتفضل يا عمر.
انا مش لغات، انا عربي.
طيب اوكي عادي، مفيش مشكله، اسالنا عادي.
ماشي. انا كان عندي سؤال، اهميه الغلاف الجوي.
اوكي يا عمر. importance of the atmosphere. سهل يا عمر بالانجلش.
هو في مدرسه عربي مش لغات،
يعني اكيد هو دارس انجلش برضه.
طيب يعني انت عايز بس اهميه الغلاف الجوي. اوكي، شكرا ليك عمر، وهنرد على سؤالك. طبعا نجاوب الأول على السؤال.
Okay. Omar said that what is the importance of the atmosphere? إيه أهمية الأتموسفير؟ We know that atmosphere has many importances. Okay, let me write them. Importance of the atmosphere أو أهمية الغلاف الجوي.
بس أنا بفسره له وهو مدرسة عربي فنشرحه له بالعربي.
Importance of atmosphere. Importance of atmosphere أهمية الغلاف الجوي. Number one. Okay. Atmosphere أو الغلاف الجوي. adjust يا عمر يعني بيظبط. adjusts temperature بيظبط الحرارة. adjusts temperature. Okay. Also atmosphere عمر protects بيحمي the earth بيحمي الأرض أو الغلاف الجوي. protects the earth بيحمي الأرض from ultraviolet radiation أو UV radiation الأشعة ضارة جدا. أكيد سمعت عنها in Arabic which means الأشعة الفوق بنفسجية. So again, importance of the atmosphere is that it adjusts the temperature and also it protects the earth from ultraviolet radiation أو بيحمي الغلاف الجوي أو الكرة الأرضية كلها من الأشعة الفوق بنفسجية. اوكي
تمام كده. إذا يا عمر هو بيضبط الحرارة وبيحمي الأرض من الأشعة فوق البنفسجية. ده إجابة سؤالك. Okay, let's go back to our lesson.
Okay, so again we know that during lightning أثناء أثناء البرق أو أثناء الرعد كمان nitrogen oxide is formed because nitrogen reacts with oxygen gas. Okay, Mr. Yasser? And this gas is very dangerous, very harmful for the living organisms.
Okay, we've got another caller, بسملة من القليوبية. أهلا يا بسملة. ازيك يا بسملة؟
How are you?
Fine, thanks. How about you? Basmala, do you have any questions?
Yes.
Okay.
I want to be a question.
You want to be asked?
To be asked?
عايزة تتسألي?
Oh.
Okay, she wants to be asked.
Okay,
do you have a question for her, Mr. Nader?
Okay, did you study oxygen gas, Basmala?
Yes.
Okay. Give reason we can collect oxygen gas by down displacement of water. Give reason again we can collect oxygen gas by down displacement of water. Okay?
Because oxygen can dissolve in water and it is heavier than air.
Very good, Basmala.
Okay, بسملة أنت كنت متابعانا من أول حلقة؟
Yes.
طيب قولي لي بقى يعني why is nitrogen considered an element not a compound?
ليه النيتروجين يا بسملة element؟ لأن هو consist of how many atoms وشكلهم إيه أو نوعهم إيه؟
Two atoms.
طب similar ولا different يا بسملة؟
Element.
يعني هم similar atom ولا different؟ Similar atom. So we can call nitrogen gas is an element. عشان كده هنسمي nitrogen gas is an element. Okay?
Okay, شكرا ليكي بسملة من القليوبية. Okay. Let's carry on.
Okay, Mr. Yes. Okay. So, do you remember what happened when any element reacts with oxygen from the oxygen gas? We said that iron, oxide. Iron reacts with oxygen to form iron oxide. Yasser reacts with oxygen, form Yasser oxide. Okay? Nader plus oxygen, Nader oxide.
So when do we get nitrogen oxide?
Yeah, nitrogen oxide when nitrogen reacts with oxygen during lightning أثناء البرق. nitrogen gas اللي موجود في الهواء بيتفاعل مع الاكسجين gas اللي already present in the atmosphere and give us the nitrogen oxide. Nitrogen oxide is a very harmful oxide or is a very harmful gas and causes inflammation of respiratory system, inflammation of skin, inflammation of the eye. التهاب بيعمل التهابات كتير جدا للجلد او الجهاز التنفسي او العين and so on. Okay? So again during lightning nitrogen gas is reacted with oxygen gas to form nitrogen oxide, which is a very harmful gas, or a very harmful oxide that cause inflammation and diseases to many parts or to many organs of the human body, such as eye, skin, hair, and respiratory system. Also, again, we can see that oxygen again react with nitrogen gas during lightning, in the presence of lightning only, to produce nitrogen oxide gas. So again, we can see that oxygen react with nitrogen in the presence of lightning to produce nitrogen oxide. So now we can have an equation معادلة مهمة جدا. Nitrogen plus oxygen give us nitrogen oxide. وقلنا أكتر من مرة إن أي شيء أو أي element أو معظم element plus oxygen بيديني element oxide أو element نفسه العنصر اللي قدامي زائد الأكسيد الموجود معاه. So again, atmospheric air again is the main source of nitrogen gas on the Earth's surface, which with 78%. Okay, Remember that, Mr. Yasser. This is a very important note today.
Yeah, 78 not 87.
Yeah, 78%. وعشان كده هنحضر النيتروجين جاز النهارده from the atmospheric air، من الغلاف الجوي او من الهواء الجوي شخصيا. اوكي؟ So now
احنا بس عشان هم ايه ناخد بالنا من حاجه، عشان دي الرقم كام؟ الرقم 78%. احنا بالعربي بنقول 8 الاول 78%، لكن في الانجليش بنقول 78. فناخد بالنا من يعني احفظوها بالانجليش افضل عشان ما تتلخبطوش فيها.
Yeah, 78% again. So again, when we want to prepare nitrogen gas, we prepare nitrogen gas from air. يعني اكتر مصدر فيه nitrogen gas هو الهواء الجوي. So again, when we want to prepare nitrogen gas, we will prepare it from the air or the atmospheric air. So how can we prepare nitrogen gas from the air? Look here, Mr. Yasser. I have a very complicated system today. رسمة يمكن تبان شكلها صعبة شوية، لكن هي very intelligent، ذكية جدا and very easy at the same time. Look here, I have a jar like this. I have a jar like this. This jar contains air or is empty jar. هي jar فارغة أو برطمان فارغ بيحتوي على الهواء. When I put water inside it, I open the tap water. What happened to air, Mr. Yasser here? يعني لما افتح حنفية المية هنا، ايه اللي يحصل للهواء اللي هنا؟ It will push upward، هيندفع لفوق. Like that. كانك بتملى كوبايه ميه، ايه اللي بيحصل في الهواء اللي جوه الكوبايه في الاول؟ بيخرج ويدخل الميه مكانه. اوكي، so now I want to remove what gases from the air. عايز اشيل اي غازات من الهواء. عارفين الاير، نراجع بعض من تاني نكتب مع بعض. air contains three gases. okay oxygen gas, carbon dioxide gas and nitrogen gas. okay.
طيب اسمح لي بس we'll answer this call. أمير من القاهرة، أهلا بك يا أمير.
خلاص نسأل أمير على الريشيو مستر ياسر.
ازيك يا أمير؟
كويس.
إيه عندك سؤال ولا عايز تسأل؟
لا عايز أسأل.
طيب تعال خليك معانا شوية بقى.
Okay أمير. do you remember the ratio of the gases?
What?
Do you remember the percentage of each gas?
علي صوتك يا أمير.
Oxygen?
Yeah, oxygen how many percent?
21%.
21%. Okay. So what about carbon dioxide?
0.03%.
0.03%. What about nitrogen gas, Amir?
Nitrogen gas?
Yeah.
It's 78%.
78. لسه مستر ياسر بيحذر منها يا أمير. 78 not 87%. Okay. So Amir, what happened؟ ايه اللي يحصل لو أنا شلت الأكسجين gas والكربون دايوكسيد gas؟ سوري أمير. What happened؟ تهيألي هيتبقى nitrogen gas. Okay, so today we'll prepare nitrogen gas by this way. نحضر النهارده nitrogen gas بالطريقه ديت. انا هعمل removal ازاله للاكسجين gas والكربون دايوكسيد gas to have nitrogen gas at the last. Okay? Okay, أمير. Okay, أمير. Thank you أمير.
شكرا ليك أمير من القاهرة. اوكي طبعا معلش احنا يعني اسفين اذا كنا بنقصر المكالمات عشان بس في ناس بتتصل بينا كتير وندي فرصه للجميع.
Okay, Mr. So today we will prepare nitrogen gas in an intelligent way. طريقة ذكية جدا. How? From the air we remove oxygen gas, also we remove carbon dioxide gas to have at last what? Nitrogen gas. يبقى الهواء اللي عندي اللي موجود في الجار هشيل منه oxygen gas بطريقة كيميائية معينة هنتكلم عنها بالتفصيل. وبعد كده هعمل remove منه للكربون دايوكسيد gas برضه بطريقة كيميائية معينة. So at last I will have nitrogen gas. So let's return back to the drawing of nitrogen gas. نرجع تاني لرسم nitrogen gas. رسم مهم جدا جدا لازم اعرف تفاصيلها تشتغل ازاي. So again I have a jar like this. عندي jar. In the jar there is air في هواء. I push the air upward by opening the tap. لما افتح التاب هنا هيحصل ان الهواء هيندفع لفوق. Okay مستر ياسر. Look here. So here the first stage أول مرحلة I put a very important substance مادة مهمة جدا هنسميها concentrated sodium hydroxide. Again concentrated بالظبط كده صوديوم هيدروكسيد مركز او بوتاسيوم هيدروكسيد برضه مركز. ليه؟ دي الماده اللي بتعمل ريموف للكربون دايوكسيد. يبقى انا كده خلصت من فيرست ستيج اول مرحله، خلصت من كربون دايوكسيد
ده ممكن يجي سؤال give reasons.
give reason مهم جدا. يقول لي give reason we use sodium hydroxide or concentrated sodium hydroxide in preparation of nitrogen gas. Can you answer this, Mr. Yasser? To remove what gas? To remove carbon dioxide gas.
Yeah.
So again we'll use two substances. هستخدم مادتين. مادة هتشيل الكربون دايوكسيد ومادة هتشيل الأكسجين gas. So again I will use one of two substances which is called concentrated sodium hydroxide to remove carbon dioxide gas. او بوتاسيوم هيدروكسيد، ده اخوها طبعا التوأم بوتاسيوم هيدروكسيد، يعني الاثنين تقريبا نفس الاسم، بوتاسيوم هيدروكسيد او sodium hydroxide. To remove what? To remove carbon dioxide gas from the air. So now I will have the nitrogen gas with the oxygen gas. هنا لسه عندنا nitrogen وكمان معاه الاكسجين gas. What happened to remove oxygen gas? ازاي اشيل oxygen gas? We know that we can remove oxygen gas by passing it on hot copper. لما الاكسجين جاز بيعدي على hot copper النحاس الساخن جدا او النحاس المغلي جدا جدا, we can remove oxygen gas. So at last what happened? I will have here in this tube, I will have here nitrogen gas. And we know that nitrogen gas is like oxygen in the preparation or in the collection. هو شبه الاكسجين شويه في صفه معينه ان هو is scarcely dissolved in water, نادرا ما بيدوب في الميه. So I can collect oxygen or I can collect nitrogen at the same time by upward displacement of water, Mr. Yasser, or downward displacement. Look here, what happened to water? It will be downward.
Down, yeah.
It goes down, so it will be downward displacement of water. So again, I can collect nitrogen gas by downward displacement of water, such as what happened in oxygen gas by downward displacement of water also. So again, to prepare nitrogen gas, عشان احضر nitrogen gas النهارده هعمل عمليه سهله جدا. انا هعمل removal, هعمل ازاله او هشيل oxygen gas and carbon dioxide gas from the air. So at last I will have nitrogen gas. How can I remove carbon dioxide gas? By one substance which is called concentrated sodium hydroxide or concentrated potassium hydroxide. So now I removed carbon dioxide gas. What happened? To remove oxygen gas, I use hot copper to remove oxygen gas. So at last I will have nitrogen gas which is collected by down displacement of water, such as what happened in oxygen gas.
Okay, I want to ask about this. One of the properties of nitrogen is that it doesn't mix easily with other elements. Why is that?
Because nitrogen gas, as we said at the first of this episode, is inactive gas. هو غاز غير نشط. هو طبيعته كده. هو غاز inactive, lifeless, azot.
So it doesn't react easily.
Doesn't react easily with other elements like what happened in oxygen, and also it is scarcely dissolved in water. حتى كمان مع المية مش بيدوب كتير. عشان كده بنقدر نجمعه عن طريق down displacement of water. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. S. Okay. So now again we have collected or we have prepared nitrogen gas from a very intelligent way, from a cheaper way, طريقة سهلة جدا ورخيصة جدا, مش محتاج استخدم فيها كيميكالز كتير. كل اللي هستخدمه sodium hydroxide وhot copper and some tube and some basins for collecting nitrogen gas. Okay? So again, let me explain the preparation of nitrogen gas. Nitrogen gas is collected or is prepared by the removal of the two other gases, which are oxygen gas and carbon dioxide gas. Oxygen gas can be removed by hot copper, but carbon dioxide gas can be removed by concentrated sodium hydroxide or concentrated potassium hydroxide. And at last, I will have nitrogen gas that can be collected by down displacement of water أو إزاحة سفلية للماء. So now, let's study the experiment in detail. Let the air passes through the solution of the concentrated sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide to what? To absorb the small amount of carbon dioxide. وده موضوع سؤال give reason مشهور جدا. يقول لي give reason. We use sodium hydroxide in preparation of nitrogen gas. الإجابة قدامنا أهي. To absorb the small amount of carbon dioxide gas. To absorb the small amount of carbon dioxide gas. The other step, الخطوة الثانية. Let the air passes over hot copper. هنخلي الهواء يعدي على hot copper أو النحاس الساخن to remove oxygen gas as hot copper combine with oxygen. الhot copper بيتحد مع الأكسجين وبيخلصنا منه من الهواء. So now I will have nitrogen gas at last. هيكون عندي nitrogen gas at last. So now I can collect nitrogen gas by down displacement of water as oxygen gas preparation. يبقى بحضر النيتروجين gas عن طريق إزالة الأكسجين gas والكربون دايوكسيد gas من الإير، لكن بجمعه في النهاية خالص زي ما جمعنا بالظبط الأكسجين gas by down displacement of water. By down displacement of water because nitrogen gas is scarcely dissolved in water. Nitrogen gas is scarcely dissolving in water لأنه نادرا ما بيدوب في المية أو don't mix or don't react with other elements as you said Mr. Yasser from a while. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So now let's study the properties of nitrogen gas again in detail. بعد ما حضرنا nitrogen gas أعرف بقى properties of nitrogen in detail بالتفاصيل أكتر من كده. Number one, nitrogen gas is colorless, odorless, tasteless. Again, nitrogen gas colorless, odorless, tasteless. عاجبني اللون.
Any other gas?
Just like not any other gas we have studied, but there are gases that has color.
Yeah,
There are
I'm
gases.
talking about the ones we studied.
Yeah, like the carbon dioxide or like the oxygen gas.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, nitrogen is colorless, odorless, tasteless, عديم اللون, عديم الطعم, عديم الرائحة. Another property, nitrogen is scarcely dissolved in water. Nitrogen is scarcely dissolved in water. Why? Dissolving in water because we said that, or we can collect nitrogen gas by down displacement of water, such as what happened in oxygen gas. يبقى بنحضر النيتروجين gas بإزاحة سفلية أو بجمعه بإزاحة سفلية للمية زي ما حصل مع الأكسجين بالظبط، لأن هو scarcely dissolved in water. Scarcely dissolved in water. Okay, so again, nitrogen is scarcely dissolved in water because we can collect nitrogen gas. We can collect nitrogen gas by down displacement of water. Another property, nitrogen gas doesn't help in burning. Nitrogen gas doesn't help in burning. It's not like oxygen here. هنا بيختلف عن الأكسجين تماما because we know that nitrogen gas doesn't help in burning, but oxygen gas helps in burning. But oxygen gas helps in burning. Again, oxygen gas help in burning. We know that. But يعني لكن العكس تماما اللي بيحصل في النيتروجين gas ان هو doesn't help in burning. And also we know that carbon dioxide gas doesn't burn and doesn't help in burning and extinguish fire. Okay. Okay. Again, nitrogen gas doesn't help in burning. Another property, nitrogen doesn't easily react with a lot of element. As you said, Mr. Yasser, from a while, النيتروجين ما بيتفاعلش بسهولة مع معظم العناصر because it's an inactive gas. لأن هو غاز غير نشط أو غاز مش هقول خامل لأن خامل دي أنواع تانية خالص. لكن inactive يعني بالظبط كده. لأن خامل معناها inert gas ودول 6 gases تانيين خالص هندرسهم إن شاء الله in details في prep 1 السنة الجاية إن شاء الله. Okay, so again, nitrogen gas doesn't react with any other element or doesn't react with a lot of elements. React with some elements such as what happened with oxygen. So we can see that nitrogen react with oxygen to form nitrogen oxide. Nitrogen oxide ده غاز ضار جدا أو أكسيد سام وبيسبب التهابات كتير جدا للجلد.
It's only produced, Mr. Nether, only produced during lightning?
Yeah, during lightning only. But we can prepare nitrogen gas in the lab. ممكن أعمل reaction بنيتروجين and oxygen في اللاب وأحضر نيتروجين أكسيد. لكن in nature في الطبيعة هو بيتكون أثناء اللايتنج بس. عشان كده تحذير مهم جدا أثناء اللايتنج. Please
get
don't
away.
Get away. Don't be in open area. ما تكونش في مكان مفتوح أو في مكان فيه rain أو lightning. Stay at home بالظبط كده. Okay, or have a shelter يعني. Okay, so again, nitrogen doesn't easily react with a lot of other elements because nitrogen gas is an inactive gas. إن هو غاز غير نشط أو غاز غير نشط أو غاز بنسميه كده azotic gas. Okay, so again, nitrogen doesn't react or doesn't easily react with a lot of other elements because nitrogen gas is an inactive gas. Okay, another property of nitrogen combined with lighted magnesium ribbon forming white substance. دي بقى مادة مهمة جدا بنسمع عنها كتير لكن مش عارفين هي أصلا جاية من نيتروجين. نيتروجين بيتفاعل مع المغنيسيوم ريبون في وجود المية وبيكون مادة اسمها أمونيا أو النشادر. أكيد سمعت عنها قبل كده ياسر كتير.
Sure.
Okay, أمونيا أو النشادر وليها pungent smell رائحة نفاذة. الأمونيا ليها استخدامات كتير جدا in baking في بعض أنواع الخبيز such as biscuits زي البسكوت مثلا in medicine في الطب in some industries في بعض الصناعات كتير جدا بستخدم الأمونيا in labs في المعامل because ammonia has a pungent smell ليها رائحة نفاذة and ammonia was used كان بيستخدم كتير قوي زمان في الإفاقة في بعض أنواع الإفاقة لما يكون شخص مغمى عليه. Okay, so again nitrogen combined with lighted magnesium ribbon in the presence of water to form a very important white substance مادة مهمة جدا لونها أبيض or solution which has the white color which is called ammonia solution or ammonia gas.
So if somebody faints,
if somebody faints,
you give them some ammonia?
Some perfume, okay? Not to
eat,
drink,
of course.
not to drink,
not to drink.
To respire بس, okay?
يعني
okay. For breathing only, for having يعني consciousness again عشان يعود لوعيه مرة أخرى because ammonia has a pungent smell هي ليها رائحة نفاذة because it alerts the areas of the brain يعني بتنبه شرايين المخ بالظبط كده عشان كده الريحة النفاذة بتاعتها بتخلي الدم يندفع أكتر للمخ فالشخص ممكن اللي مغمى عليه يفوق مرة تانية. Okay, it alerts again the arteries of the brain.
The arteries?
The arteries of the brain. تدفع الدم أكتر في الارتريز لو هو مغمى عليه الدم مش واصل البرين كويس قوي ممكن في الحالة دي يفوق تاني مرة تانية. Okay, so again ammonia has a pungent smell and ammonia has a very important not opinion now. ملاحظة مهمة جدا. Ammonia has an alkaline effect or alkaline solution. What's meant by that? Alkaline solution محلول قلوي, which means it changes litmus paper from red to blue. درسنا قبل كده ان الكربون دايوكسيد بيحول litmus paper من البلو ريد. الاكسجين جاس doesn't change، ما بيحولش خالص ولا بلو ولا ريد، لكن الامونيا سوليوشن بيحول الريد للبلو. So ammonia solution which comes from nitrogen gas اللي جاي من nitrogen gas has an alkaline effect، تأثير قلوي بيحول الريد للبلو او بيزرق عباية الشمس الاحمر بيخليه ازرق. Okay.
Then when you have some shocking news, to tell to somebody, you should have ammonia with you. Right? Once they faint,
okay.
just
Mr. Yasser is joking as usual, and he said that when you have bad news لما يكون عندك اخبار سيئة and you want to tell them to anyone, you must have ammonia as first. لازم يكون معانا ammonia عشان لو شخص اغمى عليه ولا حاجة. Okay, Mr. Yasser, I don't have bad news today.
Okay.
I have very good news. Okay.
That's good.
Okay. Okay. So again, nitrogen combined with magnesium ribbon in the presence of water again to form a very important substance which is called ammonia solution or ammonia gas, which has the pungent smell وليها رائحة نفاذة. And also we know that ammonia gas has an alkaline effect، لها تأثير قلوي. alkaline معناها انه بيحول litmus paper من الريد للبلو. Again, ammonia has alkaline effect on litmus paper, so it changes the color of red litmus paper to blue. Another importance and use of nitrogen gas. أهمية nitrogen gas في حياتنا أهمية كتيرة جدا. For example, number one, nitrogen gas is used in filling car tire. I think you noticed that, Mr. Yasser. Okay, in recent years, we can fill our car tire with nitrogen gas instead of air. يعني بحط nitrogen gas في الكار تاير في العربيات بدل الهواء العادي.
It's better, of course.
Yeah, it's better. Why? Because nitrogen gas has constant volume when temperature change. مهما الجو بره بيتغير او الحراره بتتغير، النيتروجين جاز عنده ثبات.
So the wheels never get flat.
or never get burst. Okay.
Burst.
Yeah, never get. يعني هو ما بيحصلوش increase in volume ولا كمان decrease in volume. هو عنده constant volume. يعني for example لو الجو بره بقى high temperature حر قوي، the nitrogen gas doesn't expand. Okay. لو الجو بقى برد جدا the nitrogen gas doesn't contract. It has constant volume. So again we can call that, or we can say that we can fill our car tires with nitrogen gas. Give reason, because nitrogen gas has constant volume by changing temperature. nitrogen gas عكس الميركوري بقى وعكس اي حاجه درسناها قبل كده، حجمه ما بيتغيرش مهما اتغيرت درجه الحراره outside the car tires. Okay. So again we can fill our car tire with nitrogen gas, with nitron instead of air. Why? Or because nitrogen gas has constant volume. Nitrogen gas has constant volume when temperature changes outside the car tire, so we can, or we prefer nitrogen gas than the air. Okay. So again here I have a picture, a very important picture for the car tire which have nitrogen gas instead of air. Here I have car tire that has nitrogen gas. Look here, the car tire doesn't or isn't deflated or burst. يعني ما بيحصلهاش ان هي تنفجر او حتى الهواء اللي فيها تسرب للخارج، لان النيتروجين gas has constant volume، حجمه ثابت with the air or with the temperature change. nitrogen gas ما بيتغيرش خالص في الحجم مهما اتغيرت الحراره بره. Another important of nitrogen gas is that nitrogen liquefied or liquefied nitrogen. اسم غريب شويه نسمعه اول مره يا ياسر. بقول liquefied nitrogen، نيتروجين سائل. نيتروجين سائل اسم غريب شويه. لو حصل ان في بريشر زياده قوي على النيتروجين بيتحول لحاجه اسمها liquefied nitrogen. الحاجه دي تبقى حرارته تقريبا -190. رقم مخيف قوي، رقم يعني very cool temperature. Okay. minus again 190. يعني سالب 190. So we can use nitrogen gas in cooling of food products or for preservation and transferring inflammable material, explosive material. يعني اي ماده هخاف انها ممكن تنفجر او محتاجه تبريد في النقل بتاعها، زي الفود سبستانس، زي الاكسبلوسيف، مواد متفجره، زي البتروليوم، زي الناتشرال جاز. كل المواد دي هستخدم لها liquefied nitrogen because liquefied nitrogen has a very cool temperature which is negative or -190. So again we can use liquefied nitrogen in transferring explosive material, in transferring food substance or any material that I fear to be exploded، ممكن تنفجر او حاجه زي كده. So again nitrogen gas or liquefied nitrogen بقى مش nitrogen gas الطبيعي بتاعنا، لكن هو النيتروجين المسال او النيتروجين السائل بيستخدم في نقل او توصيل بعض المواد اللي ممكن تكون explosive قبل الانفجار أو inflammable قبل الاشتعال. So again, nitrogen is used in storing petroleum, liquefied, explosive, and flammable materials because nitrogen gas again is inactive. Again, nitrogen gas is used in or is used to store petroleum, يخزن البترول, أو liquefied, explosive, and flammable materials because what? Because nitrogen gas is inactive, as you know that, and also liquefied nitrogen has very, very low temperature. And after a while, Mr. Yasser, give me a chance to show you a very short video about what is the effect of liquefied nitrogen. Okay?
Yeah.
يعني بعد شوية هنكون عندنا كده فيديو صغير قوي عن تأثير liquefied nitrogen, for example, on a banana, على مثلا banana. Okay? Okay. So now nitrogen is used in small amounts to fill some lamps or some type of lamp. nitrogen بيستخدم في ملء بعض أنواع اللمبات. Because also we know that nitrogen gas is inactive gas. Also, nitrogen is used in manufacturing of electronic devices أو أجهزة إلكترونية. بيستخدم في أجهزة إلكترونية بشكل كبير جدا إن هو برضه inactive gas. Nitrogen is used in manufacturing of stainless steel sheet. Nitrogen is used in manufacturing of stainless steel sheet. Also, I have a give reason now, Mr. Yasser. Okay, let me explain this give reason.
Yeah.
Number one. Nitrogen is collected by down displacement of water. Can you think in this question?
No,
nitrogen is collected
because you know
nitrogen
the
is
air,
collected.
you know.
Yeah, because nitrogen is like oxygen with like water. Oxygen and the water, we said that don't mix.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Also, nitrogen and the water don't mix.
It doesn't react.
Yeah, because nitrogen is scarcely dissolving in water. Nitrogen نادرا ما يذوب في الماء، مش بيحب الماء كتير. So now, Mr. Yasser, let me show you a very short video about the effect of nitrogen gas on banana. Okay? Banana. Okay. فيديو ممكن
I hope
مضحك شوية.
Yeah. Okay. So what is the effect of nitrogen gas on banana?
Or liquefied nitrogen gas in detail. Liquefied nitrogen is stale. Okay. Now let's start our.
We talked before about perhaps we could call it we called it oxygen water. All right. Couldn't we also say that it is called liquefied
nitrogen water?
Oxygen?
No. We cannot say that nitrogen water because oxygen water معناها oxygen مع الوتر.
liquefied oxygen.
Yeah, liquefied nitrogen. It's liquefied يعني نيتروجين مسال. هو مش داخل معاه أي مادة تانية خالص. هو already nitrogen لكن تحول من الجاس state للliquid state. Okay? But it has very cold temperature. عنده حرارة منخفضة جدا. So it makes the banana like the hammer. Okay?
Yeah.
Look here, Mr. Yasser. Now we'll see the short video about the effect of nitrogen gas on the banana. Nitrogen gas or liquefied nitrogen. Need a hammer, take a banana. Look, here's the title of this video. لو انت عايز شاكوش استخدم موزة. ممكن؟ غريب شوية. Hammer, yeah. Look, here is the liquefied nitrogen. Look here, the vapor of the liquefied nitrogen. It's very cold. بارد جدا. Okay? بارد جدا. Liquefied nitrogen is very cold. Why? Because it has the temperature of negative 190 Celsius. Okay? So what happened when I put this banana inside the liquefied nitrogen? The banana will lose its smooth tissues. It will be very hard like the hammer. هتكون صلبة جدا زي الhammer. Okay?
As hard as a hammer?
Yeah,
really?
As hard, yeah. Look here. You will see.
You're
now.
not exaggerating?
No, not joking also, okay? Look here, I can use this banana hammer. هستخدم شاكوش الموز دوت أو البنانة دوت to put this nail inside the wood. Look here, I used this hammer or this banana hammer to what?
It got very strong.
It got very strong. Yeah, again, it got very strong. Why? Because what? Because liquefied nitrogen is has very lower temperature, which means or which equal negative 190. Again, equal negative 190. Okay? Look here, the liquefied nitrogen changes the banana to what? To what?
Like, we could call it a stone now.
A stone now, right? A hammer.
A stone.
Okay.
A stone is a better word.
Need a hammer, get a banana. This is the title of our video. Okay? So now we have discussed the effect of nitrogen gas the effect of nitrogen gas on the banana, or the effect of liquefied nitrogen, which changes the banana into a very hard hammer, or like a stone, as you said, Mr. Yasser.
Yeah, so in this case, if you throw a banana at somebody, you know, they are going to get hurt.
Yeah, but if this banana is put inside the liquefied nitrogen, but if it is any other banana, normal banana, it will get hurt here.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, nitrogen or liquefied nitrogen has a very low temperature, which means or which equal negative 190. Okay, so now I have a last question, Mr. Yasser. Have we time, or we have? Okay, last question says that give reason, nitrogen gas is called azot. Let me write this question with you, my dear students. Give reason, نكتب مع بعض. nitrogen gas or N2 بقى, as we said, خلاص عرفنا ان هو اسمه N2. nitrogen gas is called azot. ليه بسمي nitrogen gas azot? I think because azot means lifeless, or because nitrogen gas is an inactive gas. هو غاز غير نشط, inactive gas. Again, nitrogen gas is an inactive gas, so it's called azot or lifeless gas. هنسميه lifeless gas او غاز غير نشط او غاز مش هنقول خامل زي ما اتفقنا قبل كده, لكن هو inactive gas. Okay.
Okay, I have some scientific terms here.
Okay,
let us end this episode by them.
Okay.
So I'm going to read out the scientific term and you tell me what it is.
The answer, okay.
Again, a gas, its molecule is composed of two nitrogen atoms.
I think it's easy, simply nitrogen gas.
Nitrogen
gas which consists of two atoms of nitrogen gas is the nitrogen gas.
Okay, a gas which is not included in respiration process and is called azot.
Azot, okay.
In burning and doesn't burn, found in the air with a ratio of 78%.
هنا السؤال لازم اقراه لغايه الاخر بقى مستر ياسر. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So all this is nitrogen gas. Okay. The main the way by which nitrogen is prepared from atmospheric air.
The removal of carbon dioxide gas and the oxygen gas. You said that the way of preparing nitrogen gas. الطريقة بحضر بيها nitrogen gas ان انا بعمل ازالة للتو other gases اللي هم oxygen gas and carbon dioxide gas. Okay?
Yeah. A chemical substance that absorbs carbon dioxide gas from air.
We have two answers for this question.
Two answers.
Number one, concentrated sodium hydroxide. Number two, concentrated potassium hydroxide. عندي هنا two answers أو two substances which absorb carbon dioxide gas from the air. في مادتين بيمتصوا carbon dioxide gas من air هما concentrated sodium hydroxide أو concentrated potassium hydroxide.
Okay. A substance that is used to remove oxygen.
I have only one answer for this question, which is hot copper, because we know that hot copper combines directly with oxygen gas, so I can remove oxygen gas from the atmospheric air by passing air on hot copper.
Yeah, a way that is used to collect nitrogen by down nitrogen.
Nitrogen gas.
It's down displacement of water.
It's down displacement of water.
Displacement
of water. It's down displacement. You answered this question, okay?
Okay. A gas which is colorless, odorless, and tasteless with a ratio of, let us say, 21%.
21%?
Yeah.
Oxygen gas.
Okay. If it's 78%?
78% would be nitrogen gas.
Okay. A gas that is scarcely dissolved in water and doesn't help in burning, again?
If the answer is the gas scarcely dissolved in water, it will be oxygen gas or nitrogen gas.
Okay.
But
a gas which is used in filling car tires, and why?
Filling car tire, nitrogen gas. And why? Because nitrogen gas has constant volume when temperature change. النيتروجين جاز ده غاز كده يعني بيحترم نفسه قوي, حجمه بيستمر زي ما هو ما بيتغيرش while temperature changes outside, مهما اتغيرت الحرارة بره الإطار الخاص بالسيارة.
Okay, this gas is used in treatment of skin tumors.
Skin tumor, we know that nitrogen gas or liquefied nitrogen أو رمل الجلد هستخدم لها nitrogen gas because it has low temperature that equal negative 190 Celsius. Okay.
Okay. Nitrogen gas can be considered into qualified liquefied nitrogen.
Nitrogen gas, again, sorry?
Can be considered, can be condensed into liquefied nitrogen.
Okay, because nitrogen gas can be condensed into liquefied nitrogen, that can be used to cool substance such as what happened here in the short video about the banana, what happened when the liquefied nitrogen used with the treatment of skin tumor to transfer liquefied substance or explosive or inflammable material such as petroleum, such as food products, and so on.
Okay,
Okay,
this
Mr.
was a very interesting
Thank you.
lesson, Mr. Nader. So I'd like to thank you very much for
Thank you, Mr.
this interesting lesson. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Thank you.
So that brings us to the end of this episode. Dear students of the 6th elementary grade, we've had nitrogen gas. This is lesson 3 of unit 3. And don't forget، ما تنسوش معادكم كل يوم من الساعة 4 للساعة 5 كل يوم بنقدم لكم مادة من المواد اللي عليكم، وتقدروا تتواصلوا معانا من خلال جروبنا، جروب مدرسة على الهواء ابتدائي واعدادي. ده اسم الجروب. لو حابين تسيبوا لنا اسئلتكم، مدرسة على الهواء ابتدائي واعدادي، ابعتوا لنا على هذا الجروب، وان شاء الله نشوفكم في حلقة جديدة. ان شاء الله برضو حلقة العادة الساعة 5 صباحا لو حابين تشوفوها مرة تانية. شكرا لكم والى اللقاء.